Someone in your life might be rewriting your reality right now. Not a stranger, someone you trust. And the most terrifying part? You think it's your fault. London, 1944. A woman named Paula is convinced she is losing her mind. Every night the gas lights flicker and dim. Every night her husband tells her she's imagining it. She hears footsteps in the attic. He says there's nothing there. She loses objects. He says she's careless, forgetful, unstable.
Please,
and slowly,
don't walk away.
she starts to believe him. What she doesn't know is that her husband is causing all of it, deliberately. Her sanity is completely intact. He is the one lying. This is gaslighting, and it might be happening to you right now. That story became a 1944 film called Gaslight, and it gave a name to one of the most psychologically damaging forms of manipulation ever identified. Gaslighting is when someone deliberately makes you question your own perception, your memory, and your sanity to gain control over you. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not one big lie. It's 100 small ones, repeated, consistently, until the victim stops trusting themselves and starts trusting the manipulator instead. Gaslighters use 3 core tactics, and once you see them, you cannot unsee them. First, denial. They flatly refuse reality. That never happened. I never said that. You're making things up. Even when you have proof, they dismiss it. You misunderstood. That's not what that means. Second, diversion. When you confront them, they flip the script. The conversation that started about their behavior somehow ends being about yours. Third, trivializing. They make your feelings seem irrational. You're overreacting. It was just a joke. You're too emotional to think straight. 3 tactics, 1 goal. Make you doubt yourself so completely that you need them to tell you what's real. This doesn't only happen in romantic relationships. In the workplace, a manager takes credit for your idea in a meeting. When you bring it up privately, they say, "I don't remember it that way." Your colleagues heard it. You know what happened. But suddenly, you're wondering if you remembered wrong. In families, a parent rewrites history. "I never said that. You had a wonderful childhood." Said enough times, the child grows into an adult who no longer trusts their own memories. And in friendships, someone repeatedly crosses your limits, then acts hurt when you react. "I was just trying to help. You always take things the wrong way." It happens everywhere, with the people you trust most. The most common question about gaslighting: why doesn't the victim just leave? Because by the time they realize something is wrong, they no longer trust their own judgment. The gaslighter has spent months, sometimes years, systematically dismantling the victim's confidence. So when the victim finally thinks something isn't right here, the very next thought is, "But maybe I'm wrong. I'm always wrong." That doubt is the trap, and the gaslighter built it deliberately. Once the doubt is built, leaving feels impossible, because the victim needs the gaslighter to confirm that leaving is even the right decision. Gaslighting works because it attacks 2 of the most fundamental things we rely on: memory and perception. When someone repeatedly tells you that your memories are wrong, your brain begins to create doubt around every memory. Not just the challenged ones, all of them. Repetition is the key weapon. The same lie, said calmly and consistently, eventually becomes more believable than the truth. This is not unique to gaslighting. It's how propaganda works. It's how cults work. Repetition rewires belief. So how do you know if it's happening to you? You constantly second-guess yourself, even on decisions you were completely certain about before. You feel confused and mentally exhausted, but only after interactions with one specific person. You find yourself making excuses for their behavior to other people, defending them even when you felt hurt. You feel like nothing you do is ever right, like you're always the problem. You used to be more confident, you used to trust yourself, and you can't quite remember when that changed. That's the pattern, and recognizing it is the first step out. If you recognize these signs, start writing things down. Date, time, exactly what was said. Records protect you. When someone says, "That never happened," you have proof that it did. Talk to someone outside the relationship, a trusted friend, a therapist, anyone who can reflect reality back to you clearly. Gaslighting thrives in isolation. It loses power when you have other mirrors. You are not crazy. You are not too sensitive. You are responding normally to abnormal treatment. You don't need their version of reality. You never did. 3 tactics. Now you see them. Denial. Loses power the moment you keep records. Diversion. Loses power when you name what's happening. You're changing the subject. That's it. That's all you need to say. Trivializing. Loses power when you trust that your emotional response is valid data, not drama. Data. You cannot always stop a gaslighter, but you can stop needing their validation. Trust what you felt. Trust what you remember. Trust what you know. Your perception is valid. You don't need to confront them. You don't need to convince them. You just need to stop needing their version of reality. Next week, we go deeper. Love bombing. Why some people shower you with affection before they control you. It's more common than you think, and the warning signs are very easy to miss. If this made you think, subscribe. New video every week. See you next time.